Hey guys, it's 941 Garage and welcome back to another video. As you guys can see in the title or the thumbnail that we got a new car. Alright, so there were some new changes. I did end up selling the gold 335i. Unfortunately, I had to let it go. The car got to a point where I just lost interest in it and I wanted something else. I know that sounds a bit crazy, but you know, it's always time to move on. I did also have a great E92. It was 6-speed manual. I never ended up driving it. I just ended up rebuilding it and then just selling it. I just didn't really want it. I really did want a 335IS. It was my main goal to find one because I did kind of want to mess around with the DCT for a little bit. So I ended up getting this black car. We also do still have the Supra. It's kind of having some maintenance done to it. So what ended up happening was the drive shaft center support bearing decided to give out and was giving me a lot of vibrations and knocking. So I'm just waiting on a new part. Let me go through some details with you guys about this car. This is a 2013 335IS with a DCT transmission. The car does have 74,000 miles, about to hit 75. Now the main damage on this car is the roof. You can see this big dent on the roof and it does incave pretty decently well, which I don't know what happened to it, but something fell on the car or the car hit something, but it did end up damaging the whole windshield as well and some trim pieces in here. I guess this was enough for the insurance to total this car, so it ended up on the auction. This car is overall in really good condition. The body of the car is almost mint. There is small dents here and there, and for some reason the kidney grills are missing, and the front bumper has it's kind of warped, and the same thing right here. I think it might have hit something. It's not too bad. It's fixable. Definitely something I could take care of in the future. The wheels are in pretty good condition. They are the IS wheels, the 19-inch. But there is one really interesting thing about this car. Check out the interior. I have never seen a 335 or a 335IS with this kind of interior. And this car does not come from factory like this. In fact, this is a full M3 swap. It has the M3 seats, which has the logo right there. I don't know if you guys can see it, the lighting's pretty bad. This, and then you have the extended leather down there. So essentially, this is just swapped from an M3 into this car, which is actually very neat. How well the condition is, there is some small wrinkles here and there, but no major tears or anything like that. This is what really caught my attention about the car, and that's why I was kind of set on it. Also, this car does have some tasteful modifications. Let's take a look real quick. All right, so the engine bay does look pretty simple. Your typical intakes from vrsf, and then it does also have inlets, and we have our charge pipe, our HKS blow-off valve. I'm really not a fan of these. I really hate how these sound. I'm gonna swap this out later on. It also does have a catch can down there. I'm not sure what brand that is, but I'll have to check that later. So like I said, we do have inlets and we also do have outlets as well. It does also have an intercooler. I have no idea which one. The car does also have downpipes, vrsf downpipes. Now, I don't know what kind of tune the car has. I'm pretty sure it's tuned. And I did also drive the car. The transmission does feel like it's stock, like it's not tuned. The motor seems to be pretty clean all the way around. Not too much oil leaking, nothing like that. If I were to clean it up, it would look so much better because it's just a whole bunch of dirt and grime. So this is where I'm at right now. I ended up cutting out all the old glass just along the edge with the razor. This still might need a little bit of trimming before you install new glass, but here's all the stuff that was still there. And then what I did, I just vacuumed the whole interior. Well, first I removed the whole interior. I removed the seats, the headliner, basically everything, and I vacuumed. There was a little bit of water down there, like a little bit of moisture. I went ahead and cleaned it and vacuumed it and sprayed and cleaned it with some, because it does smell a little bit moldy, so I ended up spraying some mold disinfectant just in case. But everything is nice and clean now. I do have to redo this headliner because it is sagging and it's ripped in a lot of places. As you can see, it's sagging right here. So I'm gonna end up putting some fresh new fabric and get it looking brand new again. Now here's more of the damaged area right here. As you can see, there's like a small kink on this body line, and then there's like a nice big dent right here, and it goes out to about right here, which it's not too bad. I can work in from the inside. It's just I'm gonna have to work this corner a little bit from the top because I can't really get it from the inside because there's sheet metal covering it. So what I did so far was I used this hydraulic press just to pick up the roof a little bit because it was just a little bit bent. It's not straight, it's a little bit bulged up because you have to push a little bit more to straighten it. And what I also did, I put some hot glue tabs right here that I'm about to pull out because I don't really want to do too much metal work, which involves, you know, grinding, welding and whatnot, because you can't really access it from the back, from the bottom, because there's a little piece of sheet metal right here. So I'm gonna try to do as much as I can from the top. I can get this small section from the bottom, which is pretty good, but it's just this section right here. I'm just gonna over pull it and then knock down the high spots. So fast forward a little bit, my camera did end up dying, so I didn't get to show how to pull this. I didn't notice it was just standing right there and ended up dying. But here's my first skim coat of Bondo. I was gonna remove this, but the damaged area only goes up to here, so there's kind of no need to remove this. I'm probably gonna remove it prior to painting, but as of right now, I'm just gonna leave it. So this edge was a little bit dented, so there is a tiny bit of buildup right here. But just gotta wait for this to dry, sand it, and then maybe just a small little glaze coat, knock down some high spots, and we'll be ready for some primer. Big skim of glaze coat, which is like very, very thin Bondo, almost like primer. I just put a very nice big coat because I want this as flat as possible. I did also find like a very small dent here. So I just have to sand this all down. As you can see, these dark black spots, that's called guide coat. I use a bottle of black spray paint just to go over it very lightly, like almost mist it. And then when you start sanding, you can see where your low spots are. These are like very low. They're not low, but it just means that I have to keep sanding, so everything's almost flat. Also, when you guys are sanding, try not to put pressure down. Let the block do the work. So basically your hands just push the block back and forth. And don't go straight. Try to go a little bit diagonal here and there. And do nice big movements for a flat area like this. All right, so these spots are done and they're nice and smooth. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sand this roof with 600 grit with a DA, just to get everything nice and matte finish and get it ready for paint. So the car is pretty much ready for paint. All the body work is done. But before I do that, what I do want to do is I want to take care of the headliner. So I just bought this fabric locally. I have a Hobby Lobby that's not too far from me, which does carry headliner material. They also have it in gray. The reason why I want to do this first is because I want to clean up the interior and get the rest of the interior in the car, because it's taking up a lot of space in my garage. I just want to have the interior in already, so then I can just cover the car and get it painted. I'm not going to get too much into detail on how to do the headliner, but what I am going to use is I usually use this M3 adhesive to bond it. I do go pretty heavy, so I have 2 cans. So this is how the finished product looks. It laid down pretty nice. I am going to say this material isn't 100% the best to work with. It's not as stretchy or moldable. So in some areas like right here, it's very hard to get it down in there. But overall, everything laid pretty nice. There are like very small creases like right here, right here. Most of these are not going to be noticeable. There is one main one that's like right here. I do tuck my corners. Headliner is in. It's probably going to be a little hard to see, but that's how it's looking. It's looking pretty nice in there. Car's all blacked out with a nice red interior. So I'm going to clean these seats up, use some leather conditioner, get them all nice and prepped. And then I'm going to also detail the dash the side panels and everything else that needs to be detailed. The only thing I'm waiting on is this plastic trim right here. See, it's broken right here. So most of the interior is in. The only thing I have to do is put this in. This is what I was talking about, the sunshade. But I am waiting for a small trim piece right here that I need first before I can install that. But as of now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tape up the whole car because I do wanna paint this roof. All right, so the car is ready for paint. Everything's all prepped and masked up. Now, before I lay paint, I like to add some of this stuff, adhesion promoter, and it's a sealer on the primer areas. Plus, I'm gonna add it here as well because that's getting painted. It covers up very small imperfections and scratches. Like, it will cover up those small scratches right there. And it lays very nice and it's clear as well. So the proper way to do this is first you hit a few coats on your primered areas so it fully covers the primer, and then you can go ahead and do either one coat throughout the whole panel or 2 coats, however you like to do it. But usually I do a few light coats on the primer and then one nice big coat because you don't want this to seep through your paint. So this is the finished result. It didn't turn out too bad. The only issue is, out of nowhere, a whole bunch of bugs just started swarming this garage. It's like those small little gnats. They started landing in the clear coat. See, like right there. But I might just end up wet sanding and buffing it later on just to get a better clear finish. But overall, it looks pretty nice. So I just got a new one of these. This is called like the rear vent for the rear windshield. I am also going to install these blacked out lights. I really hate how these look. They're just ugly. So all you do is you just push them that way and you pull them out. So push that way and then pull them out. Very simple. And then kind of vice versa to install these. I also did get a set of spacers. I got 12 millimeter and I also got 15. I'm gonna do 12 millimeter in the front, maybe the 15, because the front does go in like crazy, but the rear isn't too bad. So I'll see which one looks better. And then later on, I am gonna do coilovers just to lower the car just a tiny bit, because I do like how these wheels look. So I am gonna keep the IS wheels. The time has come, guys. So I got this glass locally at Junkyard. They basically pulled it for me. You can't go there and pull the parts yourself, but this was only 50 bucks. It came off of a 320ai coupe. They're basically all the same. One thing I don't like what they did is they cut these connections for the defroster, but I do have the old connections. All I really have to do is just disconnect these connectors and resolder them back, which should be a pretty simple job. They did also give me this rear light because mine was a little bit broken, so just have to clean this up. All right, all connections are soldered. So this side, and this one's also soldered. What I had to do is I kind of very lightly peeled this back this film and I exposed the wires themselves. And then I just soldered every individual piece. Now I'm just gonna like glue this back somehow with some glue. But I mean, everything should work perfectly.
Всім доброго дня, це новий влог дяді Васі. Ми ставимо на цю лялечку стеклишко. Щоб коли він їхав 300, щоб через передок не задувало у заднє.
Я бачу у пацана, він продає в інтернеті такий пайп, який я зараз взяв. Оцей.
Оці фільтра.
Да-да. Помаленьку, не спіши. The windshield is installed. I have this 2 pieces of shit just holding it, but it's been already curing for 2 hours. So this thing is not gonna move whatsoever. And then I also went in ahead, as I already placed the windshield, I installed this gasket. Because once you put the glass on, some of the sealant is gonna start coming out through the sides. It's gonna be harder to install it when it's dried because the sealant's gonna be in the way of the gasket. So I just installed it at the same time. So a few days fast forward, this is how the car looks now. The car is pretty much done to how I like it. I did install coilovers and spacers, and I did drop it by about 1.5 inches from the front and about 1.5 inches in the rear, or about 1 inch. The car sits very nice. I did also install a front lip. I got off of eBay for like $100. Very cheap lip. It's not carbon fiber, it's just plastic. I really like how the car looks on the OEM wheels. The interior also looks very good. I'm very happy with how the interior looks. It's not perfect, but the M3 interior conversion looks very nice in this car. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little rebuild video. I will be making more videos, so stay tuned. I don't know the plans with this car yet. Maybe a single turbo later down the road, or maybe upgraded twins. I have no idea yet, but for now, I'm just gonna daily drive it on a OTS map on an E-blend, just a very simple setup. But stay tuned, because this car will be getting some sort of turbo upgrade. I'm not gonna say what it is, you guys are just gonna have to find out. A small little change I did to the car, I did install a new front lip, because I did have this old cheap one right here that just wore out and broke over time, and it's like very flimsy. I also did install small little side skirts. They don't look too bad. Actually makes the car look pretty nice and low. And then simple cosmetics, I installed these as well. I keep forgetting what they're called. But currently the car is stock turbo on a custom E85 tune by Doc Vu. We're still in the tuning process, so we will see what Doc Vu can do with this car on a stock fuel system. So stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye.